Well, today let us discuss about Raman spectroscopy. Before going into Raman spectroscopy, let us remind something about microwave and IR spectroscopy. Microwave spectroscopy is also called rotational spectroscopy. Microwave spectroscopy or rotational spectroscopy. Rotational spectroscopy. Then IR spectroscopy. IR spectroscopy or vibrational spectroscopy. Let us refresh one or two things regarding that. So you know energy of molecule. Energy of molecule. Okay. This is equal to translational energy plus rotational energy plus vibrational energy, then electronic energy. Okay. Assuming that all these energies are independent of one another. So energy of a molecule is sum of all these four. Now here, if you see rotational energy or say vibrational energy, this is nearly 1000 times that of rotational energy. Again, electronic energy, this is again nearly 1000 times of vibrational energy. Okay, vibrational energy. Now you know rotational energy is quantized. Rotational energy is quantized. And what is the value of rotational energy? Value of rotational energy is h bar square by 2I into j plus 1. Okay. And what is h bar? H bar equal to h by 2 pi. Okay. So this is equal to h square by 8 pi square I j into j plus 1. Here j is the quantum number and values are like this 1, 2, 3 and so on. And I is the moment of inertia. You know about these things. I is the moment of inertia and this is equal to mu r square. Okay. What is mu? Mu is the reduced mass. Okay, reduced mass. Suppose we have two masses like this. We have two masses like this. This is m1, m2. Okay, and this distance is r. This distance is r. Distance between the two masses. This is r. Okay. Now what is mu then? Mu equal to m1 m2 by m1 plus m2. This is a reduced mass. Okay. Now in rotational spectroscopy, that is microwave spectroscopy, we generally express energy in terms of wave number. Okay. Wave number. And what is wave number? Wave number is 1 by lambda. And this we write as nu bar, wave number. Okay. In terms of wave number, rotational energy, let me write it like this. In wave number, let me write rotational energy like this. Okay. And this is equal to E rotational by Hc. E rotational by Hc. That will give us rotational energy in terms of wave number. Okay. And this will be equal to, just simplify, this will be equal to 8 pi square IC j into j plus 1. Okay. And this is known as 8 by 8 pi square IC. Okay. This is known as rotational constant. This is known as rotational constant. and we generally write it as B. B. What is B? B is equal to this. Now, for a particular molecule, okay. Now, in rotational spectroscopy, what type of molecule we want? We want molecules having permanent dipole moment. Suppose this is hydrogen and this is chlorine. This is chlorine. This is hydrogen chloride molecule. Okay, hydrogen chloride molecule. So this is more electronegative, so it has del negative. Less electronegative, it has del plus. So this particular molecule has permanent dipole moment. That means dipole moment mu, okay, permanent dipole moment, that is not zero. That means this molecule has a permanent dipole moment. Dipole moment is not equal to zero. That means this molecule has permanent dipole moment. So in rotational spectroscopy, what type of molecule we want? We want molecule having permanent dipole moment. Okay. Now you see, if J equal to 0, rotational energy is 0, J equal to 1, rotational energy is, say, and this is say E naught and E1, this is equal to J equal to 1, so this will be 2B, J equal to 2, so E2, that is equal to 6B, and so on. That means rotational energy is quantized. Okay, quantized. That means arbitrary values of rotational energy not possible. Only some definite values are possible. Rotational energy is quantized. And one thing, let me tell you, so this is the rotational energy. If we consider the molecule to be a rigid rotator means the bond distance does not change. Okay, if the bond distance changes during rotation, then it is not a rigid rotator. If the bond distance does not change, then it is a rigid rotator. Okay, so this is the energy expression for the rigid rotator. Okay, so now here you see, this is the energy, J equal to 0, so this is the energy E naught, this is the energy corresponding to J equal to 1, this is say E1, 2B, and this is say J equal to 2, so this is E2, that is 6B. So what is the energy difference here? Energy difference 2B, 0, so 2B energy difference. What is the energy difference here? Here energy difference 6B, 2B, so it is 4B, and so on. Okay. Now you see, if we apply radiation on the molecule, then the molecule will absorb energy from the radiation. Okay, if we apply radiation, then the molecule will absorb energy from the radiation, provided energy difference between the levels is equal to energy of the radiation. Okay, so the molecule will absorb energy provided energy difference. Say this is the energy difference. What is the energy difference? 2B. So this must be equal to the energy of the radiation. Okay, but here we should not write h nu because this is in terms of wave number. So we should write nu bar. Okay, nu bar. Okay, so here also suppose initially the molecule is having this much energy. Suppose initially the molecule is having this much energy. So it may absorb energy from the radiation, provided energy of radiation is equal to this energy difference. Then what happens? The molecule will come over from this energy level to this energy level. Here also, suppose initially the molecule is having this much energy. Okay, so if we apply radiation, then this molecule will absorb energy. How much energy? Energy equal to 2b, in order to go from this level j equal to 0 level to j equal to 1 level. So what is the condition? Energy difference must be equal to energy of the radiation. This is known as the energy matching condition. Okay, so now the energy difference between two consecutive rotational energy levels is equal to energy of microwave radiation. Okay, energy of microwave radiation. So energy difference between two consecutive levels, either this or this. So energy difference between two consecutive levels is equal to energy of the microwave radiation. So for rotational transition, what type of radiation is needed? For rotational transition, microwave radiation is needed. Okay, if we use microwave radiation, then rotational transition will take place. Okay, now similarly, let us talk little bit about IR spectroscopy, that is vibrational spectroscopy. So again, what is vibrational energy? Vibrational energy equal to V plus half H omega oscillation. Okay, what is omega oscillation? Omega oscillation is oscillation frequency. Particle is vibrating like this. So 1 vibration, 2 vibration, 3 vibration, like this. Okay, so oscillation frequency means number of oscillation per unit time, going coming back. This is one oscillation. Going coming back, this is another oscillation. So number of oscillation per unit time, that is the oscillation frequency, and this is equal to 1 by 2 pi root over k by mu. What is k? K is the force constant of the bond between the two atoms. Okay, force constant of the bond between the two atoms. We are talking about diatomic molecules. Okay, so this is the vibrational energy. Again, V is the quantum number. What are the values of vibrational energy? What are the values of quantum number? Quantum number is this. So once again, you see, suppose V equal to 0, then vibrational energy, let me call it, say, EV, vibrational energy. Okay, now once again in IR spectroscopy, energy is expressed again in wave number unit. Okay, again in wave number unit. In Microwave spectroscopy, energy is expressed in terms of wave number unit. Similarly, generally, in vibrational spectroscopy also, energy is expressed in terms of wave number unit. So, in wave number, what we get? As before, in wave number, what we get? Energy, so this and vibrational energy, that is equal to E vibrational by Hc as before. So this will be equal to V plus half omega oscillation by C, H cancels, and this is equal to V plus half omega oscillation bar. Okay, this is wave number. So this is the vibrational energy in terms of wave number. Once again, this is the vibrational energy, or this is the vibrational energy if we consider the molecule to be a harmonic oscillator. Okay, harmonic oscillator. We consider the molecule to be a harmonic oscillator. Okay, this is the vibrational energy. Now once again, if V is 0, what is the vibrational energy? Vibrational energy equal to half omega oscillation bar. V equal to 1. What is the energy? This is 3 by 2 omega oscillation bar. V equal to 2. 5 by 2 omega oscillation bar, and so on. Okay. So once again, now here you see, here V may be 0, but vibrational energy is not 0. And this is called the V is 0, vibrational energy is not 0. This is called the 0 point vibrational energy. But in case of rotational energy may be 0. You see, rotational energy may be 0, but vibrational energy cannot be 0. So there are vibrational energy levels. Okay, V equal to 0, E naught. Then there are again vibrational energy levels. V equal to 1, E1. Then V equal to 2. Okay, V equal to E2, and so on. V equal to 3, E3, and so on. Now what is the energy difference here? Now energy difference equal to, you see, 3 by 2 minus half. So energy difference will be equal to W bar OS. Here also energy difference will be the same. Same energy difference. Now once again, suppose the molecule is having this much vibrational energy, this much vibrational energy initially. Now if we apply radiation, once again, the molecule may absorb energy from the radiation, and it may come up to this level. Now again, what is the condition? The energy difference must be equal to energy of the radiation. Same condition. Energy difference must be equal to energy of the radiation. Okay. So now we have already said that vibrational energy is nearly 1000 times more than rotational energy. Vibrational energy is nearly 1000 times more than rotational energy. So this energy difference will be nearly 1000 times more than this energy difference. Okay, in the diagram you do not find that, okay, but you should remember, since vibrational energy is nearly 1000 times more than rotational energy, so this energy difference between two consecutive vibrational energy levels energy difference between two consecutive vibrational levels will be nearly 1,000 times more. This is 1,000 times more than the energy difference between two consecutive rotational energy levels. Okay? That means if this difference is 1, suppose this difference is 1, so this difference will be 1,000. So here what we need? We need radiation having more energy than microwave radiation. Okay? Here we need radiation having more energy than microwave radiation. Okay? So here what type of radiation we need? We need IR radiation, because IR is having more energy than microwave. So if we apply IR radiation, then molecule will absorb energy from the radiation and it will undergo transition from one energy level to the other. Okay, so this is vibrational spectroscopy. Now, how we represent the vibrational spectrum? Normally, how we represent the vibrational spectrum? What we do? Say this is the axis. Okay. So along this axis, we put energy of radiation. And energy of radiation may be in terms of frequency, may be in terms of wavelength, may be in terms of wave number. Okay? Because what is energy of radiation? H nu. And you know nu equal to C by lambda. And this I can write like this, 1 by lambda, and this is equal to Hc nu bar. 1 by lambda equal to wave number nu bar. This means that one particular frequency means one particular energy. One particular wavelength means one particular energy. Similarly, one particular wave number means one particular energy. Okay. So we put energy of radiation along this axis. Suppose x-axis. Once again, energy of radiation may be in terms of wavelength, in terms of frequency, in terms of wave number, anyone. But our convention is that in IR or microwave spectroscopy, we generally use wave number here. Wave number here in centimeter inverse. Okay? This is the convention. In IR spectroscopy, generally we put wave number in centimeter inverse along x-axis, and along y-axis we put intensity of radiation. Okay. Now you see, suppose this is visible radiation. Say we have a beam of visible radiation. This is the beam of visible radiation. Visible radiation means what is the wavelength range? Wavelength range is 380 nanometer to 760 nanometer. Okay. In some books you may find it 400 to 750. So don't worry about that. Okay. So suppose we have a beam of visible radiation and we allow it to fall on a prism. Okay. Then what the prism does? Prism will separate. It will separate all the wavelengths. Maybe this is a 760, this is a 759, this is a 758, and so on. It will separate all the wavelengths. Let me call this is a lambda 1, this is a lambda 2, lambda 3, and so on. It will separate all the wavelengths. Then in spectroscopy, what is done? This is the beam of radiation. Maybe this is IR, maybe this is microwave, maybe this is visible. This is the beam of radiation. Okay, maybe IR, maybe microwave, maybe visible. We are using prism. We are using prism. Suppose what we get. So different wavelengths will be separated. Different wavelengths will be separated like this. Say lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, and so on. Now what is done? Say lens is used here. This is a lens. Using lens, we get, say, this particular wavelength. We are using using lens, so we are getting a beam. We are getting a beam of this particular wavelength. Then this is allowed to fall on this sample. This is the sample. This is the molecule. This is the molecule. Sample. Okay. Then what we do? We measure the intensity. We measure the intensity before absorption. We measure the intensity after passing through the sample. This is the intensity of radiation before passing through the sample, and this is the intensity of radiation after passing through the sample. Okay. So first, say lambda 1 wavelength is sent through the sample. Next, it is rotated slightly. So then next lambda 2 wavelength will be sent through the sample. Again rotated. Then lambda 3 wavelength will be sent through the sample. This way, wave 1 by 1 wavelength will be sent through the sample. Out of these wavelengths, only a particular wavelength the molecule may absorb. Okay? Maybe out of all these wavelengths, say only a particular wavelength the molecule absorbs. Let us assume like that. Now initially, intensity of all these wavelengths same. Initially, intensity of all these wavelengths same. Intensity of all these wavelengths same. Okay, this is lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3, lambda 4, lambda 5, and so on. Say out of all these wavelengths, suppose the molecule absorbs lambda 5. Suppose this is lambda 5 wavelength. The molecule absorbs this particular wavelength. So what will happen? So intensity of this particular wavelength will decrease. Intensity of this particular wavelength will decrease. And we will get a line like this. Okay? So what we assume? We assume that the molecule absorbs only lambda 5 wavelength. So initially, intensity of all these wavelengths was the same. The molecule absorbs this particular wavelength. So intensity of this wavelength will decrease because this has been absorbed. Intensity will decrease. So we get a line like this. And this is the spectrum. This is the spectrum. This is the spectrum. And in IR spectroscopy, what I have said, generally we put wave number. Because one particular wavelength means one particular wave number. Okay? So here we put in IR spectroscopy, along this axis we put wave number. Okay, so we put wave number here. And generally, what is the range of the wave number? Because visible radiation, it has a particular range, wavelength range. A particular wavelength range means a particular frequency range, or a particular wave number range. Okay. Similarly, IR radiation. If this is IR radiation, it also has a wavelength range. That means it also has a wave number range. And generally, what is the range of wave number? Generally, this is 4000 centimeter inverse to generally this is 600 centimeter inverse. Generally, we vary the energy of IR radiation from 4000 centimeter inverse to 600 centimeter inverse. So out of those energy values, the molecule may absorb, suppose the molecule absorbs only this particular energy value. Suppose out of all this, say this is 4000, this is 4000, this is 3999, 3998, and so on up to 600. So one particular wave number, that is the energy the molecule absorbs, suppose. So we get a spectrum like this. So this is in brief about IR and microwave spectroscopy. So in IR and microwave spectroscopy, what do we study? We study absorption of radiation by molecule. Okay? Once again I repeat, in IR or microwave spectroscopy, what we study? We study absorption of radiation by molecule. Okay? But in Raman spectroscopy, we do not study absorption or emission of radiation. Okay? We study scattering of radiation. That means we observe the scattered radiation. What is scattered radiation? Suppose a radiation is coming like this. The radiation strikes something here. Just assume the radiation strikes a molecule here, suppose. Then it will be deviated. It may be deviated like this. So this deviation, initially the radiation was coming like this. Now after striking this, it gets deviated, and this we call scattering, deviation. Scattering may be in this direction, any direction. Okay? So this is the scattered radiation. Okay? Now if we say that this is the radiation, that means this is the photon. Say suppose energy of the photon is h nu I. It is coming and it is striking the molecule. Then suppose the photon comes back in this way. So this is the scattered photon. Just think of the carom board. Okay, this is the striker, this is the coin, and you are striking the coin. So this striker may come in this direction, just like that. So photon, initially it was coming in this direction. After collision, it may be scattered like this. Now there may be two types of collision. One is elastic collision, and the other is non-elastic collision or inelastic collision. Two types of collision may be there. Okay. Now in elastic collision, what happens? In this type of collision, what happens? The energy of the photon does not change. Energy before collision equal to energy after collision. Energy before collision, energy after collision. That means, suppose h nu I, that is equal to h nu s. This type of collision is elastic collision, or we may say that initial frequency equal to scattered frequency, we may say. And this type of collision is also called Rayleigh scattering. Rayleigh scattering. Rayleigh scattering. But in case of inelastic collision, what happens? In case of inelastic collision, what happens? Initial energy of the photon is not equal to this. That means initial frequency is not equal to scattered frequency. Okay. Now this type of collision is called, this type of scattering is called Raman scattering. This type of scattering is called Raman scattering. Now here, maybe this is greater than this, or maybe this is less than this. Less than this. Both conditions. Okay? Both conditions may happen. Okay. Now, okay, and so this is the scattering. Okay. Now, actually, what happens in 1923? One scientist called Schmeckel. Schmeckel theoretically predicted that when a monochromatic radiation, what is monochromatic radiation? Monochromatic radiation means having a single wavelength. When a monochromatic radiation undergoes collision with a particle. Particle means it's a molecule. Particle means a molecule. Then the scattered radiation may have some other frequencies in addition to the initial frequency. Okay. So what did Schmeckel? He did some calculation. In fact, he did some theoretical calculations. So after doing all these calculations, he predicted that the scattered radiation. In this scattered radiation, there will definitely be the incident frequency. In this scattered radiation, there will be definitely the incident frequency. That means intensity of frequency of scattered radiation equal to frequency of incident radiation. So there will be, in this scattered radiation, there will be frequencies equal to the incident frequency. But there will be some other frequencies. There will be some other frequencies which are not equal to the incident frequency. That was predicted by Schmeichel. Then in 1928, Indian scientist C.V. Raman, he did some experiment. He did experiment and he proved Schmeichel's prediction. Okay? He experimentally verified Schmeichel's prediction. Actually, C.V. Raman, he designed an instrument himself. He made the instrument himself and he did experiment. And by doing experiment, he proved that Schmeichel's prediction is correct. And for that invention, C.V. Raman was awarded the Nobel Prize. Okay, Nobel Prize. Now let us see the quantum theory of Raman spectroscopy. Okay. What is the quantum theory? Suppose we have a molecule. This is the molecule. Okay, this is the molecule, and this is the photon. And it is striking the molecule. There is collision, and this is a scattered radiation. Scattered photon. Okay. Let the initial energy of the molecule is say EI. Initial energy of the molecule. EI. Okay. And the photon with energy h nu I strikes the molecule. Photon with energy h nu I strikes the molecule. Okay. So before collision, what is the total energy? Total energy equal to h nu I plus EI. So before collision, total energy equal to this. After collision, say energy of the molecule, say EF, and energy of the scattered photon is h nu s. So after collision, total, what is the total energy? H nu s plus EF. But energy must be conserved. So since energy must be conserved, so energy before collision must be equal to energy after collision. Conservation of energy. Energy must be conserved. So since energy must be conserved, so total energy before collision must be equal to total energy after collision. Or we may write like this: say I may write like this, simple calculation, nu I, say I am transferring this to this side, so we get this, and this is equal to EI minus EF, and or let me write this as del nu equal to EI minus EF, frequency difference del nu, or del nu equal to EI minus EF by H. So we are getting an expression like this. Oh, sorry. We are getting an expression like this. Okay. Here del nu is generally called the Raman shift. This is called the Raman shift. Okay, Raman shift. Now, from this equation number 1. Now suppose one condition is that energy of the molecule before collision equal to energy of the molecule after collision. If this may happen, if energy of the molecule before collision equal to energy of the molecule after collision, then from one what we get? These are equal, so del nu equal to 0. That means nu I equal to nu S, and that will give us Rayleigh scattering. Okay, that will give us Rayleigh scattering. Frequency of the incident radiation equal to frequency of the scattered radiation. Okay. Now second condition may be that say if EI is less than EF, this is less, this is more, so then what we get? Del nu will be negative. Okay, that means from this what we get? We get that this is not equal. They are not equal. Okay, so this will give us Raman scattering. This will give us Raman scattering. Okay, and here what we get? This is negative, means what is del nu? Del nu equal to nu S minus nu I. This is negative. Okay, then what does it mean? That means nu I is greater than nu S, or nu S is less than nu I. Okay, frequency of the scattered radiation is less than frequency of the incident radiation. Okay, now this is known as this type of spectral lines. I will come to that. This type of spectral lines are called Stokes lines. So in case of Stokes lines, what happens? Frequency of the scattered radiation is less than the frequency of the incident radiation. Okay, and you see here, so from this what we understand? We understand that, say, final energy of the molecule is more. That means the molecule gets energy from the radiation. Final energy of the molecule is more. That means energy of the molecule increases. Molecule gets energy. Where from? The molecule gets energy from the radiation, from the photon. Okay? Molecule gets energy from the photon. So the photon loses energy. That means frequency of the scattered photon is less than the frequency of the incident photon. So in Stokes lines, the the photon in Stokes lines, the photon loses energy. In Stokes lines, the photon loses energy. So incident photon, it has more energy than the scattered photon, because the photon loses energy to the molecule. Now third condition is that if EI is greater than EF, then what happens? EI is greater than EF. That means del nu is positive. Once again, that means this is not equal to this. So Raman scattering, this is not equal to this. Now what we get? Nu S minus nu I is positive. That means nu S is greater than nu I. Okay? That means scattered photon has more energy. The scattered photon has more energy than the incident photon. Okay? Once again, this scattered photon has more energy. That means this scattered photon gains energy. Okay? This scattered photon gains energy. Where from? This scattered photon gets energy definitely from the molecule. Okay? Because you see, molecule has less energy. Initial energy of the molecule is more. Final energy of the molecule is less. Okay? So this scattered photon has higher frequency. That means scattered photon has higher energy. So this scattered photon gets energy from the molecule. Okay? So we may depict it like this. Suppose this is the initial energy. This is the initial energy of the molecule. Okay? So the molecule, first what happens? The molecule absorbs energy from the photon. The molecule absorbs energy from the photon and it comes to some, say, Farsuel state. So this is the Farsuel state. This is the Farsuel state. Okay. This is the initial energy of the molecule. Okay. This is the initial energy of the molecule. The molecule absorbs the photon. What is the energy of the photon? Energy of the photon is h nu I. That photon is absorbed. Okay. Then what happens? The molecule is in excited state, so it cannot remain there. So it will come back to another state. Suppose another state. So this is say EF, final state. So it comes back to the final state. And this is the scattered photon. Okay? So initially the molecule was having this much energy. It absorbs this photon, h nu I. Okay? H nu I. And after absorbing this photon, it goes to some excited state, which we call Farsuel state. And after going to that state, it comes back to the final state. And final state is having some more energy than the initial state. So now this photon is emitted. So this is the scattered photon. Now you see, scattered photon has lower energy than the incident photon. Okay? scattered photon has lower energy than the incident photon. So this will give us the Stokes lines. Stokes lines. Stokes lines. Again, now if this is the case, so molecule is in this state, initial state, then it absorbs energy and goes to the it absorbs energy h nu I, goes to the partial state. Again it comes back to the same state. This is the final state having the same energy. Okay, in that case, what is the energy of the photon? So here what we find that energy of the initial incident photon is equal to energy of the scattered photon, or nu I equal to nu s, and this is Rayleigh scattering. Now next is, say this is the initial state EI. Again it absorbs photon h nu I and goes to the partial state. Then it comes back to another state having energy EF. Okay, now this is the scattered photon. Now you see, scattered photon has higher energy than the incident photon. Okay, that means frequency of the scattered photon is greater than the frequency of the incident photon, and this corresponds to anti-Stokes line. Okay, so this is the quantum theory of Raman spectroscopy. Now, how we present the Raman spectrum? How we present the Raman spectrum? How we present the Raman spectrum? Okay, so once again what we do, say this is the axis. Here we may put energy of, here basically along this axis we basically put energy of radiation. Once again, energy of radiation may be in terms of wavelength or in terms of wave number. Well, one thing you see, so we have said that del nu equal to nu s minus nu I. So we may write in terms of wave number also. So this or this, they are called Raman shift. In terms of frequency, in terms of wave number, Raman shift. Okay. So generally in Raman spectrum, what we do, along this axis we put either wavelength or wave number of the radiation, and along this axis wave number of the scattered radiation, not wave number, intensity of scattered radiation. Okay, so in this scattered radiation, what we get, we will definitely have the incident frequency or incident wavelength or incident wave number. In this scattered radiation, we will definitely, suppose this is the incident. This is the incident wave number, suppose. This is the incident wave number. So it will be definitely there. Definitely it will be there. So intensity of the incident radiation will be very high. Okay? So in this scattered radiation, incident radiation will be there. Okay? Will be there. And its intensity will be quite high. Okay? Now along with this incident frequency or wavelength, there will be some other frequencies. Okay? Now, say as we have said, say if nu I is greater than nu s, or nu s is less than nu I, or say wave number of the scattered radiation is less than wave number of the incident radiation, then we get the Stokes lines. So you see, wave number, suppose we are plotting wave number here. So wave number of the scattered radiation, say nu s, wave number of the scattered radiation is less than wave number of the incident radiation. So this will be Stokes lines. Now if we get here, that means wave number of the scattered radiation is greater than the wave number of the incident radiation. That will give us the anti-Stokes lines. But if we put wave number, what will happen? If we put wave number, here we are plotting, say, wave number. If we put wavelength, so this is the incident wavelength. Now here Stokes lines. Frequency is less. Frequency less means wave number will be more. So this is Stokes lines. Lambda s. Wavelength of the scattered radiation. Okay? Frequency and wavelength, they are inversely related. So frequency less, wave number less, Stokes lines. Wavelength more, Stokes lines. Similarly, anti-Stokes lines, frequency more or wavelength, wave number more, so anti-Stokes lines. So wavelength is less. So this is the difference. So we present the Raman spectrum like this. So here we get the incident, in the Raman spectrum we get the incident radiation and Stokes lines and anti-Stokes lines. We get this. Okay. Now let us now one thing. Let us see one numerical example. Let me see the example. So numerical example is this. The Raman spectrum. Question is this. The Raman spectrum of C2H2, this is gas, acetylene gas, observed using 435.8 nanometer mercury incident radiation shows one of the lines at 511 nanometer. Okay, determine the wave number of the vibration band. Determine the wave number of the vibration band. Okay, now two things I will explain. Two things here. So first thing is that in Raman spectroscopy, what type of radiation we need? We need monochromatic radiation. Monochromatic radiation means having a single wavelength. And laser is highly monochromatic. Laser is highly monochromatic. So here mercury laser is used. And what is the wavelength of the mercury laser? Wavelength of the mercury laser is this much. So first thing is this. So here wavelength of the incident radiation equal to 435.8 nanometer. So this is the first thing. Second thing is that, say we have talked about the Raman shift del nu bar. What is del nu bar? This is equal to nu s bar nu I bar wave number. In Raman spectroscopy, value of del nu bar lies within 3 to 3000 centimeter inverse. Value of del nu lies within this range. So you see, in vibrational spectrum, what is the range generally we use? We generally use 4,000 to 600. Okay, centimeter inverse. So energy of IR is varied from 4,000 to 600 centimeter inverse, and within this range we will see vibrational transition. Okay, so in Raman spectroscopy also you see we are getting 3 to 3000. That means in Raman spectroscopy vibrational transition takes place, because this is within the range of vibrational energy, and this is rotational because rotational energy is nearly 1000 times less. That means in Raman spectroscopy rotational and vibrational transitions of molecule take place. Okay, if the molecule gets energy, okay, then rotational or vibrational transition of the molecule will take place. Okay, the molecule gets energy, we are getting Stokes lines. Molecule gets energy means rotational or vibrational transition of the molecule will take place in Raman spectroscopy, because value of del nu lies within this range. Therefore, in the problem it is given as vibrational band. That means what will be the value in the vibrational spectrum. Okay, for that what we do, we first, okay, where we are getting this scattered radiation? We are getting this scattered radiation at 511 nanometer. Okay, what we do, we convert into, because in IR spectroscopy we generally use wave number. So this is equal to 1 by lambda I, that is equal to 1 by 435.8 Nano means 10 to the power minus 9 meter. Minus 9 meter. And in IR spectroscopy, generally what is the unit? Unit is centimeter. In IR spectroscopy, the unit is centimeter inverse. So if I calculate this, this will be in meter inverse. So I am to convert this into centimeter. What I do? 1 meter equal to 10 square centimeter. 1 meter equal to 10 square centimeter. 10 square centimeter. So I write like this. So if I calculate, say 1 by 435.8 into 10 to the power 7 centimeter inverse, and if you calculate this, value of this will come out to be, you have to calculate, okay, 1 by this, you calculate this, just calculate and you will get the result. Okay, this is the wave number of the incident. Similarly, what is the wave number of the scattered radiation? Wave number of the scattered radiation, this is equal to 1 by S, and again you calculate like this, 1 by 511 into 10 to the power minus 7 centimeter, and this will be 1 by 511 into 10 to the power 7 centimeter inverse. Okay, so definitely the energy of the scattered radiation, wave number of the scattered radiation is 1 by 511, 1 by 35. So energy of the scattered radiation is less, or wave number of the scattered radiation is less. Okay, so that means how much energy the molecule has absorbed. How much energy molecule has absorbed? This minus this. So you just find out this. You just del nu, okay, del nu, that is equal to nu s bar minus nu I bar. We'll take just positive value. We are interested in the positive value. You just find out this, and whatever value you get, that will be the answer. Okay, whatever value you get, that will be the answer. And what is the Raman spectrum here? So this is the incident. What is the incident radiation? Incident radiation is this wavelength. Wavelength is this. How much? 435.8 nanometer. Okay, and Stokes lines we are getting here. This is the new wavelength as scattered radiation. This is 511 nanometer. So this is the spectrum. We get this spectrum like this. Intensity of the incident radiation is maximum. Intensity of the scattered radiation is less. Okay, so we get this. So this is how we are to solve problems. Okay, so let us stop today. We will discuss in the remaining portion. We will discuss in the next class. Okay, thank you.